By the time you take in this video, if it pleases the Ancient of Days, the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, will have been sworn in. Yeah? And his term would have officially started. Now we've already seen all the drama even before he was sworn in. Okay? But I want to draw your attention to the number 47. Now the number 47 is very significant spiritually. Okay? But I will be coming back to that later on my show today. For now, I would like to start with the most dramatic photograph of Committee Prison Warden Jackson Kuria, aka Cop Shakur, who is pictured on the dock, but they was released on a bond. But I'm sure your attention has been drawn to the t-shirt he's wearing. Who is that on that t-shirt? That is slain businessman, thorn in the flesh to William Ruto even then, a man who was called Jacob Juma. Now. You appear in a court of law and you're wearing a t-shirt. Not just any other t-shirt, but a t-shirt with a message. Because the message of slain Jacob Juma that is a major statement to make. As major a statement as anybody can make. This should be a clear confirmation of the political situation in the country right now, and especially just how awake Kenyans are right now politically. You know, yesterday I listened in to a bunge la wananchi somewhere in our republic, just some people in some neighborhood who gathered and had a session of bunge la wananchi. And I listened to the speakers and I was amazed. People in Kenya are very politically aware. Very. Indeed, some of the speakers would pass for excellent political analysts online. Maybe even better than most that we consider the best. Oh yes, Kenyans are woke. Oh yes, make no mistake about that. Now I don't want to get Cop Shakur into trouble. Yeah, but the message being passed here is not very difficult to figure out. Who was Jacob Juma? Why was he assassinated? What was being covered up? What was being hidden? Etc., etc. What? Indeed, we can confidently say, and many people have been rubbishing this, many people have been saying it can never happen in Kenya. But the truth is, the country, whether we like it or not, whether Uda likes it or not, we are at the edge of a revolution. Make no mistake about that. When the people are this angry, when the people are this informed, then you can be sure, very sure, that things will never be the same again. And there are very many dramatic developments on the local political scene that would firmly suggest that what we're saying here is 1000% correct. Okay? But before we proceed with that, please allow me to get these Trump manenos out of the way first. Yeah? Maybe that's not the right way to put it. Because the Trump presidency Getting out of the way, the Trump presidency is one of the most significant political developments worldwide in a very long time. Let's deal with that first. Now, yesterday, somebody on our Telegram forum drew me into a discussion about the similarities between Donald Trump and another previous president of the United States, a very popular president, Ronald Reagan. Okay? And specifically, the impact of the Ronald Reagan presidency on the country called Kenya. Of course, you can see where they were going with this discussion. Yeah, they were suggesting that I discuss the impact of the Trump presidency in Kenya and give examples of the Reagan presidency impact at that time. Yeah, Reagan was president of the United States for 2 terms up to the year 1989. And they specifically mentioned a very important US envoy in the fight for a better Kenya, the late Smith Hempston. Yeah, and they told me, Chris, you must do a video on this, because it was Reagan who appointed Smith Hempston. And look what Smith Hempston achieved in Kenya. He helped a great deal to bring the country into multi-party democracy. Well, that is true, except it is not factually correct to say that it was Ronald Reagan who appointed Smith Hempston. It wasn't. It was the person who succeeded Reagan, George Bush Sr. And maybe it was almost Reagan who appointed Hempston. You see, Bush came into power, yeah, with that wave of Ronald Reagan's popularity. Ronald Reagan was popular with Americans. So much so that Bush rode on that wave, yeah, as the man who would continue Ronald Reagan's policies, which in many ways were similar, yeah, because it was also America first, were very similar to the man in the White House now. And anyway, both of them are from the same party, the GOP. You know, in those days I used to specialize in American politics. And I followed the Reagan presidency very closely, yeah, including the Iran-Contra scandal and other controversial political events. And for a time I wondered, what is this GOP they keep on referring to? Yeah, I was reading an article in Time magazine at the time. GOP is Grand Old Party, yeah, and people use that interchangeably with the Republican Party. When you say GOP, everybody knows you're talking about the conservative Republican Party. But let me cut to the chase. The biggest impact of the GOP reign in the White House, from Ronald Reagan to George Bush Sr., was that Moi Alikiona, the president of Kenya at the time, went through some very rough waters. Top on the list of his problems was that the money taps, or the taps that were pouring money into Kenya, very suddenly dried up. In those days, aid to Kenya, or the dwindling of it, dominated the news. Now, in my opinion, history is going to repeat itself, and I'm very sure that we're all very much aware of the fact that already the Ruto regime is cash-strapped. So things are going to get worse. Now, it is very possible that somebody doing some research today who was not there at the time may miss some of these key points. And it will not surprise me, because one huge difference between Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump is that Ronald Reagan used to speak very nicely. You see, he used to be an actor. He used to dress his words carefully. His speeches were crafted in such a way that you left the White House feeling nice. But you see, the truth is, alikuwa na kunyorosha, but still talking nicely. Donald Trump, on the other hand, tells you as it is. No sugarcoating. Hata maneno mabaya anatumia. You remember how he described African countries? Or poverty-stricken third world countries? I hope you remember. Because he used a phrase I cannot even repeat on this channel. True story. Bila kizungu mingi, I believe the Trump presidency will speed up the exit of Ruto and his regime. And very important, I don't think this will happen because of what Trump does. It will happen mostly because of what Trump will not do. Okay? That is so important that I think I should repeat it. The exit of the Ruto regime will be speeded up tremendously by the Trump presidency. But not because of what Trump will do. No. But mainly because of what Trump will not do. Actually, it is very difficult, if you have been following events keenly, it is very difficult to imagine how Trump's presidency will not change the entire world in a very major way. It is so difficult to convince anybody who has been following events that the Trump presidency will not change the world. Very difficult. And indeed, the 47th president of the US, you know the number 47 is a very interesting number spiritually. The number 4, I'm sure you've heard of the 4 corners of the earth. The structure of the globe in which we live in has 4 corners. Of course, I'm not talking scientifically. I'm talking according to the word of the Ancient of Days, the creator of the universe. There are also the 4 winds of heaven. Yeah, the number 4, in my opinion, signifies the intricate nature of creation. Maisabukali sana. Okay, let me just put it like that. Intricate arithmetic. Very exact arithmetic. Okay? And of course the number 7 is the number of completeness. Completing something. God finished creating the earth and rested on the 7th day. On the 7th day, it was all done. Okay? 47. Mark my words. That number, if we get to that place of looking back at the Trump presidency, that number will mean a lot. Mark my words. But now back to local politics, where according to many Kenyans, especially on social media, things are boiling nicely. Things are boiling how? Nicely. What? These Kenyans, I'm telling you. Now, we obviously live in very unique, interesting times. But they're also very dangerous times. Why? Because it is the wrong time, very, very wrong time, not to be sensitive to what is happening around you. It is the wrong time to go through life half asleep. Yeah, casually. You analyze things casually, juju, on the surface. It is a very dangerous time to do that. Because, if I can give you a quick example, if it was any other time in our history, in my opinion, William Samoei Ruto, with his craftiness, with his tactics, would have ruled Kenya for 24 years without breaking into a sweat. However, bahati yake mbaya, this particular time, this particular season, when his handlers are trying to do that, is the very wrong time to try and pull off something like that. It will not work. And not because they're not clever, not because they're not capable of pulling off 1, 2, 3. No. Simply because of the season. In case you did not realize it, in another time and in another season, it would not have been possible to have a prison warden like Bwana Jackson Kuria Cop Shakur, being so politically aware, and not only that, also being a political activist in another season, that was unthinkable, out of question, impossible. But it is happening right before our eyes, and even delivers a message for Kenyans as he appears in court. You know, in the 70s, we now know, the president of Kenya then, Mr. Jomo Kenyatta, used to slip in and out of comas very regularly. He would take weeks before appearing in public. But guess what? He would be in every news item as the lead item. Okay? And the newscasters would tell us something like, President Jomo Kenyatta is on a very busy, extremely busy, working holiday at Mombasa. Another item, President Jomo Kenyatta today has rushed back to Nakuru, to attend to important matters of the state. He will also chair a cabinet meeting. By the way, for the sake of younger Kenyans, those were the two favorite places for Jomo Kenyatta. And of course the public bought that hook, line and sinker. But what was the reality? The truth is that Kenya at the time had a very sickly president who was slipping in and out of comas, with doctors and specialists hovering in State House all the time. The decisions were being made by other people. Mama Ngina Kenyatta, for instance, the First Lady, was very, very powerful in those days. That was the reality. It was just a matter of the president's handlers spinning things. And the public at that time bought it hook, line and sinker. But these days, we have even more sophisticated spins, which still don't work. That should tell you a lot. Handlers of the president tell us these days, the president is very busy launching development projects in Western Kenya. And then Morara Kebaso comes out and tells us no, and gives us the history of a development project that has been launched and relaunched for the last 10 years with nothing happening. But meanwhile, funds are being fed into that project every financial year. Okay? That is the difference. That is an excellent example of what used to happen in another season and what is happening in this season. Things are very different, my friends. Very different. Bottom line, I believe one of the biggest problems we have in Kenya today is the fact that handlers of this regime are behaving like we're still in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and doing the same old things which used to be done then, the same old tricks. And they're getting very annoyed when those same tricks are not working. That is the major problem we have in our beloved motherland. Congratulations, Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States. And all the best as you get down to it. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to extend the special offer on all you long-suffering subscribers of this channel who have been with me through thick and thin, all those years, all those videos, and yet you have never been a member of my weekly intelligence briefings. Now you can see details on your screens right now. For only Kenya shillings 1,000, you will be able to get a full year's subscription to my highly sensitive weekly intelligence briefings. And by the way, weekly intelligence briefings number 124 is set to be released within the next few hours. And it is about the link. Hey, I'm not sure if I should talk about this. It is about the link between Shakahola and the Kware Manenos. Okay, let me just leave it there. All you subscribers out there, look out for it in your inbox within the next couple of hours. But if you're not yet a subscriber, Yeah, you can use those details on the screen. Yeah, make sure you join this exclusive Kumekucha family. Yeah, you can see on your screens the usual rate currently for full year subscription of my WABs is many more times than that Kenya shillings 1,000. Therefore, take full advantage of it. Go for it. Use the number you see on your screens right now. And M-Pesa only Kenya shillings 1,000. And pop, you'll be in. And of course, you'll also be able to get all the previous WABs immediately. Yeah, so that you can catch up on all the juicy, highly sensitive information that you have missed. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.